Welcome to GadgetGuideUSA. Thanks for watching my Rollibot RolliCool portable air conditioning unit product review. As you can see here, I got it set up. It's quite a bit taller than most of the items I review. And I normally do an unboxing, but I actually had to use it right away before I could make a video due to an emergency situation. So we're just going to go everything that came in the box. One of the first things is, of course, a window slant. And that's basically, since this is a portable air conditioning unit, it's not made to like hook up in your window like a window unit. Essentially, you can wheel this around your house and then pump all the hot air that it is collecting through the use of this little thing. And we'll go more into that. I'll move the actual air conditioner and we can talk about the accessories if it doesn't show up well on camera. But essentially this is the window slat. As you can see here, it can fit a window probably up to 48 inches wide, maybe 47 inches I would guess, maybe a little bit shorter than 48 inches, but at the same time it has this expansion gap. You hook up the hot air outtake, which hooks up to the back, and I'm actually going to lay the Rollibot down eventually and show you the sides. But essentially you plug in the exhaust here, set it up like that, close the window right on top of this, and then adjust this to your window size. One of the only complaints I had was involving this little piece of plastic, and we'll go more into that. Essentially, once you slide it out, there's a teeny tiny reveal right here. You can see the difference in this. So there'd be a teeny tiny crack where hot air can come in. It's really not big enough for like bugs or anything to crawl into. But at the same time, and since hot air is blowing out there's not a lot of bugs. However, what I did was take a small piece of weather stripping. You can kind of see some of the residue that the weather stripping left. And after I had it perfectly adjusted to my window, I put a teeny tiny little piece of weather stripping. It was about $3 at Lowe's for a full for a full roll. I didn't even use the whole roll. But aside from that, I just figured I'd point that out right away. I would recommend a little piece of weather stripping. It was also recommended that I could just take a piece of tape from a friend of mine and just cover the crack if it really bothered me that much. But at the same time, the weather stripping worked perfectly. So we talked about the window. That's actually what goes in the window. This is a small drain tube. I did not need this at all, and I ran it for over 60 hours non-stop at a setting of 60. It does include it, and when I lay it down on its face, we'll talk more about the drains. It does include a remote control. I did test the remote control to make sure it works. I mean, you can turn it on. Okay, so I mean, of course you can turn it on with the remote. You can control it. You do kind of need to point it at it. The remote feature is on the very front here, facing me. So when you point it down like that, it is infrared. So you just need to make sure that points at the front. Like I said, I haven't used it much. It does work fine and all that. Mainly you'd be facing this way anyway when you point the remote at it. I did not use the remote much, mainly because I use the app. The RolliCool app is actually very cool. I was able to like pre-start the air conditioner before I got home. And we're gonna spend quite a bit of time on the app. But this has everything you need. You can change the modes, you can change the temperature up and down. It does have an oscillation feature, so that when you turn the fan on, this will oscillate. It just slowly moves. It doesn't matter whether you have it in fan mode or air conditioning mode, you can set it to oscillate. And it even has a sleep timer. So if you want to not be bothered at night, or maybe you just want it to run for an hour before you run to sleep, or for whatever reason, I have no use for the sleep mode whatsoever. However, I did test it out. Just, for the purpose of this product review. You can display in Celsius and Fahrenheit. Of course, you're welcome to do either. This is the extension unit. As you can see, it's accordion style. It pulls apart, it goes up to about 12 feet or so. That way you can roll the Rollibot around the room wherever you'd like, maybe blow the cold air in your face, I guess. Not really necessary, but it's there. But you can see it stretches out quite a bit differently. This end connects to the back of the Rollibot, while this end connects to the window slot that I showed you from before. Now we're going to talk about the RolliCool owner's manual. It's a pretty solid manual. You can tell whoever wrote it was obviously, their native language is English. It goes over everything you need. It comes with the window kit, the pipe, 3 air filters, which are all installed. We'll go more into that here in a second. And then gives you, what the buttons do, what all these little status notifications do, Wi-Fi, sleep timer, oscillation, dehumidifier, air, I'm not sure what that symbol means, fan, and then air conditioning. So it has a guide. I didn't really care too much. Tells you how to work the remote control, pretty simple. How to attach the heat hose, you can see there. And it gives you nice pictures the whole way. It's easy to understand. I mean, I couldn't find anything that was complicated here. It is just an air conditioner. You want it to get cold. And the main thing is the maintenance. It's very important. One thing is the box says it has a washable carbon filter. I contacted Rollibot. Rollibot told me not to wash the filter. However, they did inform me that if I did wash the filter, they would send me one for free. So don't wash the filter. The outside of the box says it's washable. The manual clearly says it's not. When I contacted Rollibot, they said the manual or the carbon filter is not washable, not to wash it. And then it goes over the error codes, which I didn't have any error codes, so I can't testify that it's correct. And then the standard warranty. But overall, the manual is exactly what you'd expect. It's professionally made, has good infographics. Definitely like the manual. All right, so now, of course, the device, as you saw that I turned it on, I already have it plugged in. And it has everything here. You can turn it on, you can... and sorry if it gets a little bit loud. Literally, since my microphone is connected to the camera, it is blowing directly into the microphone. So it's quite a bit louder in the video than it is in real life. It's not ultra silent. I would say it's running about 65 decibels, which is, you know, a little bit loud, but no, it's the fan that's the loudest. So if you turn the fan all the way up, it's of course louder. But at the same time, for the cooling you get out of this, the air that comes out of this is extremely cold. 59 degrees is what my thermometer, I basically just set a thermometer right here as it was running, and it said it was blowing out air that was 59 degrees, which is extremely cold. Even right now, the air coming out of that is impressively cold. However, it's making my studio hot overall because the hot air exhaust is coming out right here. So essentially it's just wasting electricity in my studio, mainly because I don't have any windows to exhaust out of, which is why it's a studio. Okay, so we have your powers. You can cycle through modes. Of course, this is cooling mode. It's set to 81 degrees. When you turn it off, you can see the temperature actually is in this room 77. So it's getting a little bit hot. It's probably not actually 77 in here, but I have all these lights beaming down on here, which increases the temperature in this local vicinity quite a bit. So you can go through your modes right here. And then you have dehumidifier, which is by DH, and you can see the dehumidifier symbol there. And then that is fan only, and you can adjust the fan to fan 1, 2, or 3, and then we're back to cool. Down and up are, of course, just to control your temperature. It should be noted that you shouldn't, this isn't a press button, it's not mechanical, so you shouldn't smash it down like that repeatedly. What you should do is just gently tap it. It will respond. So I've smashed on the keys as hard as I could. It didn't break them. But at the same time, it doesn't respond as well if you smash the keys. Just press them gently, they work. And then you have the fan to control the fan speed, and you can control the fan speed whether it's air conditioning or not. And then I don't want to push the timer button. It's gonna, want me to set times and stuff. I don't want to set a timer, but the timer is set because it has this timer symbol over there. Overall, of course, this part is exactly what you'd expect out of an air conditioner. Pretty simple, functional. They rated at 16,000 BTU. I used it to cool an area that is 1,045 square feet, and literally last weekend we had a heat wave in northern Indiana, which hit temperatures of 90, 92 degrees. It had no problems cooling a majority of the 1,000 square feet. However, I probably wouldn't recommend it for 1,000 square feet total. There was like all the way back in the corner of my kitchen, which wasn't a straight line, didn't stay completely cold, but the room it was in and the room next to it did stay cold without any other air conditioning. I turned my heating and central heat and air off for this test. And ran it for over 60 hours. It was set at 60 degrees, and I mean, it was running nonstop. So I do feel like the torture test was justified. It wasn't actually meant to be a torture test. It was kind of an emergency situation because my heating and air went out. So I simply turned the fan off and let the RolliCool do its job. Amazingly enough, I just happened to get the RolliCool at the same time my AC went out. That is the happiest coincidence I've ever had. And I was in the middle of a move. All right, so we went over that. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unplug this the RolliCool, and we're going to talk more about the physical features here. I just don't want to have it plugged in and damage anything, pull it out of the walls. On one side, it has exactly what you'd expect. It has a handle, nothing else vented. The other side is pretty much a replica of this. The front of the unit here is pretty much what you'd expect. Right here is the infrared sensor, so when you're using the remote control, you're going to want to point it at the front that has the Rollibot logo. And then we're going to go ahead and flip on the back. It does have two drains. It has a drain right here, and this is the drain that they recommend for you to use if you're going to run it for an extended period indoors. So basically, I did not use this at all the entire 60 hours. However, when I removed the lower drain plug, water did come out. This is the drain plug. They say to hook the hose right there, and any excess water will run out. That's probably not going to be an issue for you unless you're using it constantly. But at the same time, probably running it out to a bucket or something probably wouldn't hurt, or running it out the window. The extension cord, or the extension that they give you, is quite short. So I think it's just made to, like, every once in a while plug it in and drain. It also has this drain, which I did open and no water came out. After running it for about 30 hours, I thought it would be full, but it wasn't. Apparently after running it for 60 hours, it picked up, I don't know, a few drops of water. So this is the main drain. Basically I just took it out and I unscrewed it, and that was it. So this is where you're supposed to hook the hose up to for daily draining, and that is like a end drain. I'm not really sure. So this is where the exhaust comes out. If you don't hook this up and just basically turn it on, all the cold air comes out of the front end here, and all the hot air comes out of here. And when I say hot air, you'll realize how well your air conditioner is working when you put your hand over this with nothing, without it being pumped out, because the air coming out of there is hot like a blow dryer. So you can definitely tell it's moving some air. This is one of the washable filters. They did say this was completely washable, and this is not the carbon filter. You can see kind of the stuff here that was caught from running it in my house. I have not cleaned this filter after 60 hours of running, so it does seem to be doing okay. And then to hook up the exhaust vent, it's really simple. It gives you this lock. You basically just slide it in there, spin it, and it's locked. So then you can extend it to the window or do whatever else. It's actually a really simple process. It was amazing because my AC went out. I just happened to have this, ran out and grabbed it. It wasn't even 10 minutes later that I had everything running. I basically opened a window, put that in the window, plugged this in, hooked that to that, plugged it in, and turned it on, and it was blowing cold air in minutes. So I was really actually happy to have the RolliCool. Of course, I didn't mean to torture test it right away, but life has a way of throwing you curveballs. Okay, so you can see here the filter. That is a filter after running from 60 hours. So there's not too much there, but at the same time you can tell that it is collecting quite a bit of particulate matter. And then so, I mean, I guess that's not too bad, but at the same time, I'm glad that's on the filter and not in the air I'm breathing. So this is the filter, the carbon filter. It removes charcoal. You can see that it's black. It's supposed to remove odors. I really don't have a way of testing that, but you can actually hear the shaking, and that's supposed to be small charcoal or carbon, whatever you want to call it, that's supposed to be removing the smell. So that did function well. They told me not to wash this. However, if I did accidentally wash it due to the directions, that they would send me a free one. And I did not identify that I was a product reviewer or anything, so they just would have offered that to any regular customer. This filter right here has 4 screws that hold it on. It's also washable. Like this filter, you can see it's just a typical screen filter. It hasn't really picked anything up yet. It looks like the charcoal filter picked everything up. But these are essentially the 3 filters they're talking about. This one screwed in, washable. This charcoal one, not washable. And then this other screen in, and that's also washable, so you shouldn't have any issues. Overall, the cooling power of the RolliCool was very impressive. 16,000 BTUs, or they claim 16,000 BTUs. I don't have any way of measuring BTUs, but the fact that it kept a 1,000 square foot area relatively cool, except for one small back corner of the kitchen, I would say it matches the 16,000 BTU. So I mean, I really have no way to dispute that, since considering it cooled 1,000 square feet in in the middle of a heat wave. So basically, I've showed you everything with the RolliCool. Physically, this is a fantastic device. The air conditioning blows really well, the fan blows really well, but of course the best part about the RolliCool is the app control. I'm a tech nerd, and I love apps, so let's go ahead and get to the meat and bones of the app here. Alright, we are here to talk about the Rollibot RolliCool app. As you can see here, I've already got it set up, of course, through both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You can see that it's online, it's on, it's cool. I have it set to 65 degrees. You can actually hear it running in the background. It's not that loud. I mean, this is a really small room. It's a studio baffle, so it shouldn't echo too much, but then again, you could probably hear it right in the background. But it's also super hot in this studio, so I'm going to be running the AC. Adding the device is really simple. You just click Add Device once you open it. I mean, it's going to take you to this home screen. It's going to have a device list with nothing on it. When you open it, you're going to click Add Device. Then you're going to click this Bluetooth symbol. You're going to select the Wi-Fi. You know, you can actually select a broadcast signal, or if you have a private signal, you can type in the name, and then of course put in your password, click Next. It connects to Wi-Fi. It's really simple. It took less than 3 minutes. So once you get it added, you're just going to go to your device list. It gives a random name, cool-100, which and then dash, probably the underscore, and then a random number. You can see I'm getting low on the battery here. So you can do everything you want. You can control it over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth just by simply sliding this back and forth. I recommend use of Wi-Fi, of course, because my whole house is a hotspot. That way I can walk around anywhere and control it. The Bluetooth works very well. I'm not sure what version it is, but it works great to 30 feet. It's supposed to work to 32 feet, but between 30 and 32 feet, when you try to change the temperature, you might get an error or two. But at the same time, it works, you know, very well for a Bluetooth device. The limitation is Bluetooth, not the app. So I'm controlling by Bluetooth right now. You can see the green dot right there slid over to Bluetooth. You can control it from an opposite device. So once you set up your RolliCool for Wi-Fi connection, you can actually turn off Wi-Fi, you can turn off Bluetooth, and then control your RolliCool device using your 4G data connection or from Wi-Fi from work, from whatever else. It's nice because you know you're leaving work in 15 minutes, so you're going to go ahead and log into your RolliCool app, turn the AC on, so that by the time you get home in 15-20 minutes or whatever it is, your area is nice and cool. So of course you can control the temperature. You can actually hear the beeping back there. It's confirming that I'm changing the temperature, and it just turned off. So I like it pretty cold. I actually normally leave it on 68, but whatever your preference is. It has the dehumidifier function. So basically it doesn't cool when dehumidifier is on, it just removes water from the air. You saw from my physical thing that it does in fact hold water. If you tilt it over on its side and don't drain it first, it will pour a little bit of water out. So that's the cool setting. And then you can control the fan. If you hit fan, it'll just turn to fan mode. It is not cooling. So then we have automatic mode. And schedule mode, which of course is pretty, do you want to turn it on after 3 hours or off after 3 hours? It does work. I don't really need that in my day-to-day life, but at the same time, options are always a good thing. The sleep timer is exactly what it said. It'll turn off after a set amount of time. And then we have speed, and you can set that to low, medium, or high. When you're air conditioning, you have it on cool mode. And you want to turn the fan up using the app, don't click fan because that turns air conditioning off. Click speed and then turn the speed up. So previously I couldn't figure out the difference between fan and speed. You click speed to change the speed of the fan while AC is running. You click fan to put it in fan mode and turn the the compressor off. And then you have oscillate. You can see the fans or the fan covers, and those will alternate slightly. I believe I showed that in the first part. Overall, the app is very well made. It's very responsive. You can see the scrolling has no delay. You can hear the beep happens instantaneously after I push the button, and that's both over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. They both work fantastically. You can add more than one device. Of course, I only have one to add. But you can add multiple devices and then select them, and it gives you this message online whether you're you can control it. If you leave and you accidentally unplug your router because you're moving, it will say offline, and you can't control it from work. So just know that in order to control it from work, you do have to have a good signal and working internet at home. Whether the device is on or off, what mode is in. And 68 degrees, that is the setting I have it at. That's not the temperature of the room or anything. That's just what setting you have it at. So you can go to the personal center, which I don't want to click on. It has my phone number. It doesn't have a whole lot of options there. But you can, it has your phone number, which my account is held under my phone number. So I'm not going to go ahead and click on that. Overall, the app is solid. It's everything you'd expect out of an app. It's reliable. I tried it on an older LG G3 that I have rooted, running Android 5 something, and then I've also ran it on the Samsung S5 running Android 6. Absolutely no issues at all. So overall, the RolliCool by Rollibot app was excellent. Okay, so my final conclusion of the RolliCool by Rollibot, it's a solid product. It blows 16,000 BTUs. I really have no reason to question that. It did a pretty good job cooling 1,045 square feet is what I estimated the area I tried to have it cool at. I will admit, since my house is in like a U shape, at the very end of the U, the opposite on the RolliCool, it didn't stay completely cold. But at the same time, I was trying to push it to its limits. I think 16,000 BTUs is fantastic if it was just an open room. But, you know, to get around a U to make the air move, I probably would have needed to add a fan. But overall, the RolliCool by Rollibot, it's solid physically, it's well made, it has everything you'd expect from a portable air conditioner, and I would put it up pound for pound against the LG version, which of course I haven't reviewed, but a friend of mine had, and we literally sat there next to each other and compared blow and things like that. So basically for $399.99, the RolliCool by Rollibot's an excellent choice, and definitely gets 2 thumbs up from the Gadget Guide. I do appreciate you watching my product review on the RolliCool by Rollibot today. As always, if you have any questions, problems, or suggestions, please email me at GadgetGuideUSA@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.